Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, good evening. You are all welcome in this extraordinary edition of our program, Dialogue in Focus. It's extraordinary because we witness a very good event and very important event tomorrow regarding the General Assembly of the National Dialogue. It is also important because we expect the signing of the Sudan Call Group to the roadmap which have been signed by the government since last March in Addis Ababa this week. These are two important events, and also we have to draw up that this is about the step from which we are going to hold the General Conference in October. It is a very great pleasure for me to have in this session, in this edition, two of the members of the General Assembly of the National Dialogue, Ustaz Nahar Nahar, you are welcome, and Professor Abu Bakr Hamad, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Nahar, Osman Nahar. I am so glad to be here with the viewers and the audience of Shuruk channel.
Thank you, Ustaz Nahar, Osman Nahar, and Professor Abu Bakr Hamad.
Thank you very much for having me, and welcome your viewers, and we hope we can give more information about the coming event.
Ustaz Nahar, Osman Nahar, when we speak about the national dialogue in Sudan, which have been a real Sudanese experience in the capital, Khartoum, with regard to the activities, the social activities which have been held all over the states of the country, and also by a Sudanese goodwill and a long process in which the President of the Republic has called upon all people, all political parties, all rebel movement, all social personalities to contribute and participate, to speak about a dialogue which have started by a communique from the President of the Republic since 2014, and also a General Assembly by the political parties held in April 2005, and the dialogue which have been started really by the speech of the President of the Republic 10th October 2015, and the starting of the committee in 11 October 2015. To speak now about this very important gathering which will be held tomorrow in the Friendship Hall, and it will be addressing by the President of the Republic. It is the General Assembly of this national dialogue.
Yes, surely. It is a long road to this event of tomorrow, and I think it's coming after 3 or 4 months of the debate and deliberation in the committees after October 2015. And I think that the whole efforts that have been in the making in the last 6 or 7 months, but from the time that the launching of the National Dialogue in 2014 till now, all this effort will be presented tomorrow for the whole Sudanese people, and the report of the committees will be also discussed in details, and also the recommendation of all these committees. And after that also, I think the President's speech tomorrow will bring also new elements to the process, because now we have the gathering of Addis Ababa after tomorrow, and the way that the people of Sudan Call will sign also the roadmap. This also coming in this time, especially in the same week with the assembly. I think that will be a great step to go further. And from now on, from this General Assembly to the General Conference that will be held also in in October, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
It is not officially yet,
Yeah.
but we expect that. For all this, I think tomorrow gathering, it is a momentum. It is a big event in the Sudanese history, and also it is a milestone in the way that we discuss between ourselves. Also, we don't forget, in the parallel also, with this national dialogue, this community dialogue, it's going on also. And I think the merging of the recommendations and conclusion of the two dialogues will pave the way for us.
Okay. Also, Prof. Abu Bakr Hamad, you are also a member of this General Assembly and a member of one of the very important committee during the national dialogue to speak about the recommendation which will be submitted to this General Assembly and maybe added by some suggestions, and also the timetable and the working agenda of this General Assembly.
Yeah. According to our roadmap for the national dialogue, it is the stages. So at this stage, we have to see the recommendations. 6 committees, they have a very hard time, they have a very hard work. They come up with very strong recommendations. It is around 995 recommendations. This has been submitted by the committees to the general committee we have, and they prepare it and they make it ready for us to be delivered to the General Assembly. In that General Assembly, all members, they have the right to see this recommendation and to classify them as it is ready, especially the most important committee, which is for governance and how we're going to implement this recommendation. So they will have their recommendation ready for implementation. This stage is to present the recommendations to the General Assembly. And at that time, we have newcomers, as we know. They have the right also to see the recommendation and to discuss with us this recommendation. So in our meeting tomorrow, inshallah, the agenda for the meeting or whatever we have for that meeting is to give a report, because as you know, we started in October, and we have been advised to go ahead and start the dialogue with 6 committees. So the secretaries, they will come up with what happened, like a report. Since last time we met, this is what happened. We had these 6 committees. This so many parties participated. This percentage of the youth participation, women participation. This is from our side, from inside. This is a website, what happened. This is a general report, including the recommendation. Yeah. So this is their duty when they come up to deliver it. Then we have to receive this recommendation as members to discuss it, to see what is inside this recommendation. Also, we have to fix a date for the general conference. We have to ascertain that date. And any recommendation, the floor will be open for recommendation, especially the report on how the negotiation is going with Sudan Call and different groups, and what is the next step and how we're going to approach that. Yes. And I think it's a very important meeting, the most important one.
Who are the members who is going to attend this General Assembly?
The General Assembly,
according to what criteria they have been?
As by laws and by the rules, as we call it, the National Dialogue Roadmap, the attendee is supposed to be president of political parties, and maybe an accompany, another person to accompany, and the movements who participated.
Yeah. Rebel movement?
Yeah, who participated in that dialogue with representative, and also the persons that has been called at that time, the 73 members that has been called as independent to come and participate in the national dialogue. Yeah. At that time, when they called them, they came for the first meeting on October 10th, and they distribute them among the 6 committees. So like myself, I was in the Freedom and Fundamental Rights Committee. Others, they were maybe same committee or other committees. So these, they have to come up because they discuss. They were there all this 3-4 months. So they have to attend the meeting.
Ustaz Nahar, I have come to know that there is an invitation which have been distributed to a political party which do not participated in the dialogue itself for attending the ceremonial session.
Yes, yes, you know, because who will attend, as Professor Abu Bakr mentioned earlier, the parties and the movement. Even there is a movement that they are not yet signatories for any of the peace accord, but they came before and they participate also in the committees, and now they will attend also the National Assembly. Adding to that, also now if you may also follow the future forces, the future group قوى المستقبل, also are talking with the General Secretariat about participating also in this the national dialogue. Maybe some of the parties of that group also will be present in the National Assembly, and the national personalities, among them also Professor Abu Bakr and others, they will be all attending. And every movement or party, registered party or that party also submitted his papers to the party council, will be free to attend. All in all, maybe more than 100 political movement parties and movements, and more than 70 something also from the national personalities that will make this assembly.
We speak about the nature of the forum itself tomorrow. Till now, many, they do not know this General Assembly. Is it going to discuss the recommendations which have been submitted by these committees, or it is going to have the proposals from the political parties separately, every political party presented its suggestion, or also it is going to have subcommittees to modify or to recollect some of these recommendations? How the nature, Professor Abu Bakr, of the working during the coming days of this General Assembly?
First, let me say for the attendees, from day one, like when we start in October 10th, they form a 7th committee that facilitates for newcomers. So we're always calling to keep the door open for newcomers. So, and I think they did very good now, the coordinating committee, 7+7, like they extended the invitation for all political parties, whether they attended or not, they extended. So that, I think, is a goodwill from the side to have them to come. Secondly, for this discussion inside, we follow the roadmap for the national dialogue. So we have a meeting for 4 or 5 months. We come up with recommendations. This recommendation has been with the Secretary there, keeping it for some time. So now it is time to deliver it. As saying, okay, my job is done, this is your recommendations. So all political parties, they have a massive discussion, they have heavy discussion in these committees, so all their ideas were expressed there, and now the recommendation is there. So for political parties or for movement or even for independent people there, they said what they want to say in those rooms and these halls. So now it is time to see the recommendations coming up. So we will receive a package. So each member has the right to discuss all recommendations, 995. Maybe like a person like me, I was in freedoms, but I need to know about the economics, I need to know about the identity or other things. So I will have all package being delivered to me. Also, I would like to know where we have different views. So it is only, as they said, 3%, 2% of issues has been with different views. It is not any objection to it, but different views. So I would like to see the views, maybe 1, 2, 3 views in one issue. So I would like to see them, so I can say my recommendation. my point of view also. So this is what we need to see tomorrow. Plus, the floor always open for suggestion, recommendation. So there is no political party will come and express their ideas, for example, because already has been expressed for the last 5 months. So political parties will gather a movement, these persons, they will gather there to receive the recommendation and to receive actually a report.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for this report since October 10th. What is the report? What it look like? So the report have many parts inside this report, segments. So the last part of it is the recommendations. So part of it is what happened during all this time as trustees. What did you do for the national dialogue? How did you communicate outside? And we don't have to forget this is a national dialogue, as we call it, a political dialogue. But we have the community dialogue also.
This is what I want to ask in details. But before it, Ustaz Nahar, as the General Secretary of the National Dialogue have mentioned in a press declaration that about more than 85% of these recommendations have been agreed upon. But there is a margin of 10% of these recommendations which have been controversial.
Yes.
Still, some political parties do not agree, such as the creation of the post of Prime Minister or other things related to liberty and freedom. How can this General Assembly take on consideration all these things and also have a recommendation which have been submitted by all the political parties who is going to participate?
Yes, as you mentioned also before, these recommendations are, the number is very big. It's more than 900 something, and I think also there is a work to do to synthesize these recommendations, and because if we put them in general principles, it will maybe be easier than have 200 or 300 recommendation in governance committee, for example. For this one of the work is very important to put general principle from
classify
this,
them
classify
according
them,
to
yes,
subjects
exactly,
and topics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not talking in details because some of the recommendation is going too far in details, and that will be, maybe it will be the work of the coming government and the coming institutions that will be formed after this dialogue. That's one of the things. The other thing also, there is a step when the arbiters committee will come in,
Yes.
and that trying to come together with a suggestion from this recommendation
To fill the gap.
Yes,
between the
that
different
reflecting
point of view.
of the different point of view of the people. For example, as you mentioned, in the creation of the prime minister post, there is 3 or 4 conflicting views. Some people, and that's the majority, they think it is a presidential system. So
Then we are not in need of a prime minister
no need
post.
for a prime minister post. Other people think it is might be possible if the president wishes so. Other people think in details more. They think that must be this post and must be designated by the president and also to be accountable by the president. Other people say that president may nominate the prime minister, but the parliament will
ratify
and hold the prime minister accountable. All these things. I think the most important thing for this General Assembly of tomorrow is that the time between now and the national conference, how to bring the other people on board, and also how to synthesize this recommendation and put them in a roadmap that is applicable for the next government that will form. Also trying to put on focus what we shall do, because the arbiters committee is very important. When we go to the national conference, I think it's better to go with thinks that there is a more general consensus about them, better than going and go to the vote. A vote, it is a general resort for us if we couldn't make it. But the name also it's mention it all. It is a national dialogue, so it is better to go to the consensus and trying to make some concessions from this side, other side also make some concessions, and we go to the views that reflect all the point of view as a different point of the view of the
Prof,
parties.
can you add something to the same point before I ask you another question?
No, actually, unfortunately, the unattendees, the one will not be invited, is members of committees, all members of committees, the 6 committees, because these members has been selected by their political parties and movement. They select 2 members on each committee. And I feel these members, they were very, very strong individuals, and they worked very hard to come up with these recommendations. And they put a mark for their political parties and movement, and they submitted a very strong recommendation, first to their political parties, and second to the committee, and then we all push it together to the General Secretary Zaya to hand it. So I feel they are the cream of the national dialogue, and from this point I will recommend for them to move ahead with all this recommendation and to stand behind the recommendation. In tomorrow's meeting, hopefully we will have an open door policy, as we did for the last 6-7 months, which is welcoming newcomers. Maybe we'll see new faces tomorrow in the friendship hall, and we will keep the door open, and hopefully, and that's what we all hope, by the General Conference we will see everybody inside. This national dialogue should be inclusive. Everybody should be in, because whatever recommendation we came up with, it has a sense of all political parties, they agree to it. And I feel like they said, this is what we've been looking for. So let us go forward. We don't want to go back in the past. And it's a very short time now for all of us to cross the bridge, because we all are there, just bridges. So I feel tomorrow's meeting will have good news for all of us, and we will be like a starting point for a new vision, a new version of Sudan.
Okay, to speak also, Ustaz Nahar, about the rebel movement, which attended the ceremonial session in 10th October. Are they also coming to participate at this General Assembly? To what extent, and how many of them who confirmed their coming tomorrow?
Actually, to speak so, they are not all only attended the General Assembly before, but they participate and actively in the committee's work also, and they were very contradictory and very productive in the work of the committees. And I think the majority of them, maybe one movement I am not sure of, but the majority of them, they are ready, and I have been speaking with them, and we met them also in Jamena before Ramadan, and they're eager to come and to finish the work that they begin. And I think also that also they open the door also for them to go to negotiation. They begin and they make a good effort, and also a sense of responsibility and of nationalism by participating in this dialogue. And I mentioned in name the Sudan Liberation Movement of Abul Qasim Imam, and the Sudan Liberation Movement Army of Tahir Hajar. They participate very constructively in this dialogue. That's from one side. Also, not to forget that after tomorrow meeting in Addis, and after the signing also the roadmap from this the people of Sudan call, and namely there is 4 forces that maybe sign this roadmap.
We can come to this roadmap in Addis Ababa later.
Yes.
Professor Abu Bakr, also, as I have heard from the General Secretary of the National Dialogue Forum, Professor Hashim, he said more than 900 recommendations, maybe this is a total. And this, it will be very difficult to be one document and to see it one by one. The suggestion is there is a preparing now of making one document which have been said a document for national dialogue in which they are going to have and take in consideration all the theme and the meaning of this recommendation. How can this document will be prepared, and how can the political parties and also the national personalities can contribute in this document? It will not be presented tomorrow, but in the general, I think, the general conference in October.
I think so far, because each political party or movement, they have 2 members on each committee. So each committee, they come up with a recommendation to their political party. So
agreed by their political party.
Agreed by their political party, and then they recommend it there and they push it forward. So all political parties, they have the 6 recommendations. They know it. At least the member was there all 5 months. He know all the recommendations, what it looked like. So maybe for the independents like myself, because we don't have affiliation with other committees, that maybe we need copies to look at other committees. But nevertheless, as long as political parties and movement, they agreed on recommendations. So we have just to follow them and to support them. So sometimes we need to sit down if there is differences in views. This will take time if we find these differences. But I believe more than 900 recommendations, it is a big document. This document is history. History is made because all committees, they touch all aspects of life. So it is not easy to follow up each one of them in a meeting. So we need time to look at all of them. But fortunately, they already classify them. Like some of them need like policies, need to go to ministries or need to go to the state for policies implementation. Some of them may be at the president's hand to be like a law, to be issued like a law either to the parliament or to go by degrees. And some of it goes down to ministries. So they classify them in execution, how we can execute them. So I strongly say that the General Assembly and the support of the General Secretary and the Secretariat there, they did a very good job and very hard work because they classify all these documents and they're restless. They've been working all this time to come up with classification, to come up with these recommendations so we could see it in a very nice way and we can execute, we can implement immediately. So I believe we will see a very organized, very nice document tomorrow. And it will be, this is the report. This is what we did all this time. Please look at our report.
Okay, to come to a point which is very important in this General Assembly. The President of the Republic, as far as he is the initiator of this national dialogue, he has addressed the opening session in 10th October. At that time, he declared that he will be committed fully to the recommendation which have been the outcome of this national dialogue. Tomorrow, the President of the Republic will address also this gathering of the General Assembly. I want you to read what do you expect the President of the Republic will focus on, and to what extent can push also the work of General Assembly to the General Conference in October.
Yes, as you mentioned, the President repeatedly says that he's committed and abide by what the Sudanese people can agreed upon in this national dialogue. And also in the last National Assembly, he makes some decisions to stop the war by the cessation of hostility and a ceasefire, and also the release of detainees, political detainees. And I think also in this meeting of tomorrow, he will go in the same pace by going and make more decisions and more rules to help people go and finish this work. This from one side. The other side also, and as the number of the recommendations in this work of the committees It is going very in details, and that one's of the problem. Yes, it is a historical document, as Professor Abubakar said, but to be applicable in the reality, you must synthesize them in a few than the 900. Yeah. That's one of the things, because some of them will be incorporated in the next constitution. Yeah. That's one thing. The other thing of the how to govern this country.
We can come to this point in details. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, to have an interval and to come again to our guest in the studio to follow the discussion of the National Dialogue and General Assembly Forum, which will be held tomorrow.